it was again a sleepless night for me, trying to figure out bakit ganon ang naging actions ng Senado na tama yung mga nagiging observation na minadali. Why do they have to do that? Nung una, pinapadismiss na naman, and then it was modified or amended to just archiving. But the result is still the same. Yung para bang binabaliwala talaga nila yung impeachment complaint or yung articles of impeachment, even if they know very well that there are still pending motions for reconsideration. The MR filed by the OSG on behalf of the House of Representatives, the motions for reconsideration and intervention filed by a group led by Akbayan Representative Percy Sendanya at the Tindig Pilipinas, and the third one was the one filed by Sambayan, headed or spearheaded by former Senior Associate Justice Tony Carpio and former Justice and Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, among others. So why the rush? Now it's still very much part of the process, the judicial process before the Supreme Court, notwithstanding na meron nakalagay doon sa dispositive portion na immediately executory, but it doesn't mean final na close na for any plea for reconsideration.
Meron ho kayong sinabi sa isang interview kahapon ata yon, Congresswoman, na tila nagtataka kayo hinggil dito sa pagboto ng Senado bilang mga senador at hindi sa ilalim ng tinatawag na impeachment court. Kindly expound.
Okay, kasi yung articles of impeachment, tinransmit sa Senado, which in turn convened as an impeachment court sometime in June 10, and then June 10 nga yung action nila na i-remand muna sa House of Representatives yung articles of impeachment. So, their authority to act on any matter, on any pleading, on impeachment, pertaining to impeachment, wouldn't necessarily pertain to there being an impeachment court. Now, as a Senate, as a plenary, Senate, which is basically legislative function, why do they have to tackle that as a non-impeachment court when it is about impeachment matter? It's about whether or not to dismiss, whether or not to lay on the table, whether or not to archive the impeachment case. It's about
Ano
the
ho,
impeachment.
ano ho ang dapat
And
na
therefore,
naging proseso?
ultra vires, parang ultra vires. Wala sa kapangyarihan ng Senado exercising its regular legislative functions as a plenary and not as an impeachment court to tackle any matter pertaining to impeachment. So to me, that's ultra vires, beyond their authority.
Ano ho ang sa palagay ninyong tamang naging proseso, kahit na po siguro sabihin natin ito din ang magiging ending, na yung 7 na nanalo out of the 12 ay manumpa and then magkaroon ulit ng impeachment court bago magkaroon ng botohan? Would that have been the right process?
I'm sorry, Pinky. Choppy? You're coming in choppy? I did not quite understand.
Opo, I'll
Pakiulit
repeat.
po.
Opo.
Pakiulit po.
Ano ho kaya sa palagay ninyo ang tamang proseso dun sa inyong binanggit kanina na this was tackled by the Senate and not the impeachment court? Should they have? Dapat ho bang nanumpa muna yung 7 doon sa 12 nanalo bilang senator judges and then convene as an impeachment court bago po nila itakel o bumoto hinggil dito sa naging desisyon ng Korte Suprema?
Sa tingin ko po. Kasi that's an impeachment court. Senate is an impeachment court. And since may mga bagong miyembro, so pinasumpa muna nila. Pero ang nagiging excuse kasi nila is that the Supreme Court said that the impeachment court, Senate as an impeachment court, did not acquire jurisdiction. But then again, hindi pa final yung ruling na yan. So the status is that yung Senate is still an impeachment court. When when talking about impeachment matters, kasama na dyan yung pagbabasura, pag-archive, pagsususpend, o anuman tungkol sa impeachment.
Congresswoman, what are the chances you think na mabuhay pa itong archived impeachment complaint?
Well, marami nga nagsasabi na wala ng pag-asa. Suntok sa buwan na. Especially so na it's unanimous. Pero kami po na for impeachment, pinaglalaban talaga namin yung bagay na ito, yung issue na to na napakahalaga, ay hindi po kami nawawalan ng pag-asa na the Supreme Court, if only they would really consider, study very well, evaluate the merits of the arguments, strong, valid, and convincing arguments raised in those motions for reconsideration, especially the one filed with the Office of the Solicitor General, siguro naman maiisipan nila na pwede pa nilang i-reconsider kasi may mga mali nga, lalo na sa mga facts. So tama si Senator Kiko Pangilinan, kung mali ang pagkakaintindi mo sa mga facts, di mali rin yung mga magiging ruling mo pagdating sa batas, yung sa merits. Kasi mali nga yung basehan. So if they realize that, if they accept yung mga miyembro ng Supreme Court, either unanimous or majority of them, ma-realize nila, matanggap nila na nagkamali sila doon sa mga crucial facts, then may pag-asa talaga na i-reverse nila ang sarili nila. Otherwise, ano na yung magiging basehan nung pinaka-ruling nila sa substantive issues, sa legal and constitutional issues?
Ilan po doon sa naging mga pahayag ng mga nagbigay ng kanilang paliwanag sa kanilang pagboto ay sinasabi nga nagsalita na ang Korte Suprema. Meron pa bang Supremer Court or more supreme than the Supreme Court? Kaya't a common theme was that kailangan sundin dahil nagsalita na po ang Korte Suprema. What do you say to that?
Of course we know, and as a lawyer, I'm very well aware of the fact na ang Supreme Court natin is the final arbiter of controversies. Now, kaya lang, yung pakikialam mismo na nasobrahan ng pakikialam ng Supreme Court ay questionable na yun eh. Ang palagi ko pong sinasabi, pagdating sa impeachment, kasi malinaw ang Constitution na ang sole initiator is the House of Representatives at ang sole trier and judge ng impeachment, ng innocence or guilt of the respondent ay yung Senado. Klaro yan sa Constitution. Hindi ko sinasabi na never na makialam ang Supreme Court. Yes, pwede makialam ang Supreme Court, but only in clear cases of violation of the Constitution na talagang malinaw yung pagva-violate ng Constitution and there is a manifest grave abuse of discretion. I humbly submit na wala namang ganun dito sa kaso na to. The House, when it initiated, based on the existing provision of the Constitution and the existing rules of the House on impeachment, ay walang maling ginawa, walang violation ginawa. So paano mo masasabi na merong manifest grave abuse of discretion? So hindi dapat nakialam yung Supreme Court. At kung nakialam man, ay nasobrahan dahil nga anong ginawa? Redefine, minodify, o minodify yung mga rules. And lalo na, yung pagdagdag ng requirements na wala naman sa Constitution. And I'm referring doon sa pagdagdag, doon sa
The seven
kapag yung
conditions.
third mode.
Pagdagdag po nila ng seven
yung
conditions.
one-third.
Opo.
Yung one-third adopted by one-third of the members of the House, kailangan pa daw. Bigyan muna ng kopya yung respondent at even yung mga evidence, kailangan daw ipakita rin sa kanya at ipasagot. Magiging mahirap na masyado in the future kung hindi yan ma-reverse. Yung pag-impeach, kasi bakit sa level pa lang ng plenary ng House, ay pasasagutin mo na siya. Kaya nga may korte, which is the Supreme Court. Nandyan na ang pagsagot niya. And in fact, nagsimula na yan. Pinasagot na yan ng Senado as an impeachment court nung pag-file ng verified answer, although ad cautelam on the part of respondent VP Sara.
Alright.
So, mali yung nagdagdag ng requirements.
So, ito lang po ang ating news update ngayon mga kadiyo. And please comment down below kung ano ang masasabi nyo sa video na ito. And please, pakisupport naman ang ating Facebook page para magpatuloy pa tayo sa paggawa ng bagong news update. Maraming salamat po at magandang araw.